गुरु ब्रह्मा गुरु विष्णु गुरुदेवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सवीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ
Yeah.
शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
For like 5 years. Then she took a break. Then she conceived. Now she started.
All right, so let's start. Okay, so last week we have looked at evolution of universe, and it was little tough to get grasp of the subject. We are going to do this again today with the help of some visuals, with the idea of trying to understand how the universe evolved. All right, so let's try and work on that, and let's see how we get through this. All right, now this is how the plot goes. What was before something and what was before nothing? कुछ नहीं के पहले भी क्या था? There was something, there was nothing before something. What existed before nothing? And this is how the story starts, that there is something that existed without, before nothing. Because either there is something or there is nothing. But before something and before nothing, there is a state. Right? Let us not even try to imagine what that state is going to look like. कुछ नहीं के पहले भी कुछ था. Right? So there were two principles that existed before nothing. Before something and before nothing, there are two principles that existed. One was Brahman, another one is Maya. All right. Now, what is Brahman? Who is Brahman? Brahman is basically the consciousness principle that we have all expounded on. That I, the consciousness, I, the awareness, am aware of so many things happening around me. So that Brahman is one aspect. But within Brahman, there existed a power called Maya. Right? The entire universe, the entire space, the entire time, the entire causality was there in a seed form that is called Maya. So Maya is a state of no information. Maya is a state where everything that can ever exist, both in a gross, subtle, and potential manner, existed in that seed form that is called Maya. So Maya is beyond space, is beyond time, beyond causality. So there were two primal forces, Brahman and Maya. Is that okay? Is this clear? Right? Now, how did Maya come? That question itself is wrong because you are asking about causality. Causality comes from Maya. When did Maya come? The question itself is wrong. You are asking about time. From where did Maya come? The question itself is wrong because you're asking about space. The space-time causality, which is Desh, Kala, and Karma. All of them came from Maya. So Maya is also known as Prakriti, Shakti, Avyaktam, whatever name that you want to give it. Is this okay? So far, so good. So let us not ask from where the Maya came. Maya always was, is, and will be. That is the potentiality which is there. Correct? Now, let's come to understanding. Now, you saying, okay, you say you can't understand Maya. You don't know where the Maya comes. So from where are you talking about gunas that existed in Maya? So that's why Vedas or Upanishads are called Apurusheya, something which is without beyond human intellect. That's why the name Apurushaya is given. How are you basically talking about two aspects, which is Brahman and Maya, which is beyond the grasp of the common mind? How are we even talking about it? How are we even using words to describe the states which is undescribable? Who knew about it? How did they even find out? And therefore, the knowledge, the wisdom of Upanishads is also termed as Apurushe. It is beyond human intellect. Is this okay? Now, Maya Shakti has three gunas. Sattva, Rajo, and Tamoguna. Right? Now let us understand what the Sattva, Rajo, and Tamoguna talks about. So let us remove all our understandings of Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas that we have all heard so far. Somewhere we have felt that Sattva is good and Tamas is bad. I should not have tamasic qualities. This is a tamasic food. This is a tamasic person, right? Let us keep aside all of it that we have. Today we are going to talk in a very technical manner that what does Sattva, Rajo, and Tamoguna actually mean, the way it has been described. Interpretations later. Now, if you look at your own self, there are three aspects that you all experience. One aspect is of knowing. One aspect is of knowing. Say, for example, you know the knowledge. You are able to listen. You're able to understand. You are able to see. You're able to feel. There is a knowledge. There's a knowledge that is there. There is a knowing aspect that we all experience, don't we? We all experience knowing aspects. All right. Then we also experience a doing aspect. There is some sort of an energy system. Even if I'm sleeping, my blood is, flowing in my veins. My heart is beating. I am still breathing. I am walking. I am talking. I am doing a whole lot of other activities. There is also a Kriya aspect in all of us, right? And there is also an aspect called inertia, resting. So there are three aspects that you can define your entire life into. Your aspect to rest becomes stable, your aspect of action, and your aspect of knowing. Knowledge or lack of it, movement, and inertia. These are three aspects that we all experience in our day-to-day life, don't we? Right? So let us look at these three aspects. These three aspects are a part of Maya. Maya has these three attributes. Sattva guna, which is known as Jnana Shakti, Rajo guna, which is known as Kriya Shakti, and Tamo guna, which is known as Dravya Shakti. Let us understand a little bit more. Suppose if you take a pen will only have Tamo guna, Dravya Shakti, which means if you keep the pen will remain where it is until and unless an external force is not applied on it. Does it make sense? It only has Dravya Shakti. Imagine if pen also had a Kriya Shakti, what would have happened? If pen had Kriya Shakti, what would have happened?
It would have written on its own.
Exactly. Right? It would have written on its own. So the pen only has a Dravya Shakti, but if we had a Kriya Shakti, it would have written on its own. What if the pen had Jnana Shakti?
It would think and write things.
Exactly. So the pen will basically take information, start moving by itself, and rest whenever it is required. Right? That is the Jnana Shakti. It is like an artificial intelligence. It's like a car which kind of knows that where the traffic is. It exactly knows when to stop. It does not need a driver. It starts moving, starts resting. So I'm saying in a very hypothetical, superficial way that a car, automatic car, a car that knows will have knowing capacity, will have moving capacity, will have stationary capacity, right? So Maya has three faculties, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. And therefore it is known as Tri Guna Maya. So these are the three gunas Maya has. What guna does Brahman has? We can't hear your question.
Nirguna.
Nirguna, which means
Gunas.
Brahman has no gunas. Brahman cannot move, cannot be stationary. In fact, Jnana, it is only the witness. Not generally we see knower, it is basically the witness. Right? So there are differences between it. We are not getting in there right now. So this is okay, so far so good. Before everything ever existed and before even nothingness existed, there existed two possibilities, two powers, Brahman and Maya. We can call it father and mother, whatever name that we want to give, we can give. There existed two principles, Brahman and Maya, right? And Maya is a Chetana. Maya is lifeless. It does not have consciousness. Brahman is conscious. Maya is a Chetan. Does not have consciousness.
So,
and it,
Vidhan,
yeah.
I had a question here.
Sure.
So, just talked about car or pen or whatever.
Correct.
So, I'm just thinking, should we be applying these three gunas to? Would we differentiate something that is made by nature, Maya, versus man-made? And would we say that, okay, this laptop, does it have gunas? Or this, so I'm just thinking along those lines. These were not naturally made.
It is okay. See, the point is the subtle body manifests in a physical body or in a gross body if the gross body has certain configurations.
Okay.
Say our brain, our body system has certain configuration and therefore the subtle body is able to express through it. Our mind, our sense perceptions are able to express through it. Tomorrow, if you are able to create a gross body which is suitable for a subtle body to express through it, then that may happen. But right now, when we are talking about matter and energy, both of them forms a part of gross.
Okay.
It is still not come to the subtle.
Okay.
Right?
But Vedant, isn't energy subtle?
Let me get back to you on this because I am not able to get you the correct nomenclature for it. See, matter and energy are interchangeable.
Correct.
Once some people say that matter in a subtle form is called energy, the energy grossified is called matter. Now, from the Upanishadic perspective, that is now not how subtle body is explained. And we are going to go through the evolution right now, and we'll try and see whether we will be able to answer what you asked. Right? So now we have seen that Maya has three aspects: Sattva, Rajo, and Tamogun. So it is but very natural that anything that comes out of Maya will also have these three faculties. Isn't it? I mean, the child that comes through you will have similar, at least 50% of your DNA. Correct? So anything that comes out of Maya will have these three properties. So what comes out of Maya? So there are 4 stages of evolution that happens. In the first stage, which is where the 5 fundamental elements come out, which is called Panchabhuta Shrishti. From Maya comes subtle space. Space, basically, let's use the word Akasha, Sukshma Akasha. Right? So it comes Sukshma Akash. From Sukshma Akash comes Sukshma Vayu. From Sukshma Vayu comes Sukshma Agni. From Sukshma Agni comes Sukshma Jalam. And from Sukshma Jalam comes Sukshma Prithvi. So the air that you experience right now is a gross air. The earth that you experience is the gross earth. The water that you experience is the gross water. The space that you experience, which we say we don't experience, but the space, the akasha that you experience, is also grossified. There is even a subtler version of that. There's a subtler version of what we experience right now. Okay, sorry, I'm just looking at what messages were coming. So this is how things came. Now, what happened is that every element that came had certain property. Had a certain property. Can anybody explain what do you mean by property? Say, what is the property of fire?
To burn things down.
Yeah, the heat and light. The usage of fire is burn things down. But the property of fire, because if you take the heat away from the fire, or you take the light away from the fire, it is not fire. The property of sugar is
Sweetness.
Sweetness. Because if you take the sweetness away, even if something has exactly the name and form of a sugar, it is not a sugar. Right? So property is a key aspect. So so each of these elements had certain properties. The property of subtle space, not this space that we are experiencing. The property of subtle space is sound. This is very important, and please understand here. And this is what sometimes it kind of makes it very interesting for me. So this, only recently scientists have said that space is made up of something. Space is elastic. This was 10,000 years ago. Before that itself, they have said that there is Akasha. It is made up of something. And there is a property that Akasha is a positive material and it has a property. The property is sound. And in fact, when you get into deep meditative states, you can actually hear the sound of Akash. And what is the sound of Akash?
Om.
Om. So if someone could listen to the vibrations, not listening with this physical ear, with the physical ear, gross ear, you will only listen to gross sound. when you get into certain meditative state and your awareness goes to a certain level where you use your Sukshma Shakti to understand Sukshma Akash, you can actually not see it, but you can listen to Akash, and the primordial sound is Om. It is also been said that sound of Big Bang is Om. Some people have said, some people have not said. We don't know, right? So Akasha has a property called sound. So Akash can be identified by a property called sound. Now from Akasha came Sukshma Vayu. So Vayu will have the property of sound, but it will also have the property of touch. From Akash came fire. It has a property of sound, touch, and form, which is Sukshma Agni. From Sukshma Agni came Sukshma Jala. So it has an additional property called taste. Why do we say water has a taste? Because water has a very unique neutral taste. The taste of water is neutral, right? It is like the median that we call it. And from the Sukshma Jala came Sukshma Prithvi, and it has an additional property of smell. So it has all the 5 properties. Got it? So each of the subtle element has 3 gunas and these properties. So look at this. So all of them, since it came from Maya, since all of them came from Maya, and Maya has all these 3 properties, so all of them will have these, this will have these 3 properties. Clear? Maya is the mother. From there it got all of it. So Maya has 3 properties. All of them has 3 properties. So Akash, Vayu, Agni, Jala, Prithvi will have Sattva Guna, will have Rajoguna, will have Tamoguna, plus these are the properties it will have. Now let's see what happens. From the Sattva Guna, 3 gunas, out of 3 gunas, 1 guna is taken out. Sattva Guna. From the Sattva Guna of subtle ether, the ability to hearing is created. There are five organs of knowledge. How do you gain knowledge? How do you interpretation? What are your 5 organs of interpretation? Tell me.
Our senses?
Yeah, which
Vision,
are the tell me.
listening, seeing, feeling.
Yeah.
Mm,
Taste and smell.
yeah, taste and smell, sorry. Yeah.
Right? So you experience the entire world only through these 5 windows. Is there anything that you can experience beyond these 5?
No.
So the entire world for you, if you think about it, is nothing but these 5 senses. If one of the senses gets knocked off, then the world is categorized through 4 senses. If one additional senses get added, then the world is categorized through 6 senses. Right now, entire world is experienced through these 5 senses, isn't it? Now, these senses does not belong to you. These senses are first created in the universe before it is given to the individual. So my ability to, the ability to hear, the ability to talk means, the ability to feel, the ability to see, the ability to taste, and the ability to smell. All of these abilities are first created using the Sattva Guna of these 5 elements. Clear? Using the Sattva Guna of these 5 elements, these abilities are created. All right? And all these 5 abilities put together becomes your mind. So how the mind, so there is a universal mind which is getting created. So mind has four parts. One is, or four aspects. One is your emotions and thoughts. Second is your understanding or your discerning power. The third is your memory. And the fourth is the feeling of me. Right? So mind has four functions. So sattva guna of these elements forms in the universal power of listening, seeing, touching, tasting, smelling. And the combination of all these sattva guna also leads to creation of mind. Do you see this? Then comes to what happens to the rajoguna. So rajoguna of these five elements creates the universal ability to speak, move, locomotion. Basically, anus is what excretion, basic remover of waste, and reproduction is genitals. So then in the universe, using the rajoguna of these five elements, the ability of speaking, hand, legs, anus, and genitals are created. And the combination of all these five, the prana shakti is created, which is respiratory, excretory, circulatory, digestive, and reversing system. You see this? So, which means that first of all, in the universe, what was created was these capabilities. Before it was given to us, these capabilities was created in the universe using both sattva guna and rajoguna of these five elements. Is it okay? What is important for you all to understand and visualize is that this universe is a living entity. The universe can see, can taste, can walk, can move, can reproduce. It can do all the activities like you and I can do. Because first of all, the universal body, the universal mind, the universal system were created. And from that system, a part of it was taken by us. So the point here is, what is Devata? Devata simply means that when we look at the universe, for example, I can see, I have limited power of seeing. If you look at a hawk, it may have a slightly better power of seeing than mine. But universe has unlimited power of seeing. That unlimited power of seeing is represented as Surya Devata. It is like the India is represented as a flag, a tricolor flag. We salute the flag. Similarly, the infinite powers in the universe are given a name and a form for us to talk about it, pray. Right? So if I have the ability to talk, you have the ability to talk. So there is an unlimited power of ability to speak, which is called Vak Devata. That Vak Devata can be represented by Saraswati. Can be represented by anything is what I'm trying to say. The ability to carry the weight. Say, for example, if you look at the mind. So mind has four functions: Mana, Buddhi, Ahankara, and Chitta. So all these aspects of the universal mind, not my mind. Universal mind is represented by four devatas. So when we are actually praying those devatas, we are basically giving our reverence to the universal ability to do those activities. So if I have limited ability to see, universe has unlimited ability to see. I have a limited ability to procreate, universe has unlimited ability to procreate. I have limited ability to move, I have a limited ability to do anything. Universe has unlimited. So those unlimited ability is referred to as Devata. not Ishwara, not Bhagwan, Devata. Got it? You understood what Devata is? Right? So a Devata is the universal abilities to do all of it. Okay, so now what we have seen is step number 1. From Maya came 5 fundamental elements. Step number 1. Step number 2, from those 5 fundamental elements, organs of perception were created. How was organs of perceptions created? Using Sattva Guna of the elements, these were the organs of perceptions were created. Then using Rajoguna, the organ of Kriya Shakti were created, right? So these organs were created using the Sattva and the Rajoguna. Both organs of perception as well organs of action were created, right? Now, last one. The third thing what happens is that how everything is invisible. So far, everything is invisible because everything is subtle, right? How does invisible becomes visible?
Bidan, can you just go 1 minute before, the previous slide?
This one?
Can you just explain it once again, please?
All right. So this is one slide where everything has been put together. From Maya came Sukshma Agash Prithvi, right? Sukshma Prithvi, Sukshma Agni, Sukshma Jala, Sukshma Prithvi. Now, for each, the Sukshma or the subtle parts have certain properties. The property of sound, touch, form, and all of it. So, and also they have 3 aspects: Sattva aspect, Rajo aspect, and Tamo aspect. With the Sattva aspect of the space or ether, air, fire, water, and earth, the ability to perception was created, which is your Shotram, Twak, Chakshu, Rasana, Graha, right? And the combination of all the 5, the mind was
So
created.
that is nothing but Panchagnanendriyas, right?
Yes, universal Panchagyanendriyas.
Okay.
Right? So using the Sattva Guna of these 5 elements, universal Panchagyanendriyas were created, and the combination of Panchagyanendriyas, the universal mind was created, which is called Antakarana. Right? Universal mind was created. So that what does it say? That there's a universal, just as we have our limited mind, even universe has a mind of its own. Right? Now, from the Rajoguna of these 5 elements, the Panch Karmendriyas were created. Speech, hand, legs, anus, and genital. These are Karmendriyas, right? So that means universe also has karma. Okay. So universe also has a karma. We are a part of that universal karma. So Panch Karmendriyas were created, and these Panch Karmendriyas put together is Panch Pranas were created that we spoke about. Right? So we have already exhausted Sattva Guna. We have already exhausted Rajoguna. Now, what did Tamoguna? Where did Tamoguna go? And that's what we're going to talk about. But everything is invisible right now. Yes, Santosh.
So when you talk about Rajoguna, you're talking about Rajoguna of the universe.
Yes.
Okay. But what I'm not able to understand is Rajoguna goes into speech and then hand, legs, anus, and genitals. But like how space would lead to speech, air should lead to smell, and then fire to sight, and water to taste, and then earth to touch, right?
Earth comes from water, so it will have all the 4 elements of water.
Correct.
Plus extra element of smell.
Correct. Yeah, but yeah, all the progressive ones will have all the previous and one more. Correct.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So, but this hand, legs, anus, and genitals is what is actually.
Yeah. So if you're trying to bring a combination, it will be difficult to kind of understand that. So
yeah. So because 5 senses, right? I mean, the 5 senses were developed because of these 5 gunas of
Right.
Maya, right?
5 gunas of Maya.
Gunas of Maya. So the 5 senses would be.
There are 3 gunas of Maya. Sattva, Raju, and Tamoguna.
Sorry, yeah. These, what would we call the manifestations of Maya are these 5, right? The space and then air, fire, water, and earth.
Right.
So
Panchabhutas.
sorry?
Panchabhutas.
Panchabhutas, correct. Thanks,
Yeah.
Sana. So that led to the formation of space, air, fire, water, and earth is what led to the perception in the form of
Panchajnanendriyas.
Panchajnanendriyas, right?
Yes.
So then the Rajoguna should be speech for space. Right? Yeah, because sound, space represents sound. So that leads to speech. Then air represents sound and touch. So then it would lead to smell, right?
I understand what you're trying to say. So you're asking, has this gone up and down somewhere? I get your point. I understand. I understood. Can I get
relate to the 5 senses that we have is what I was actually asking.
Vidhan, he's talking about prana, samana, apana, vyana, and udana.
No, he's not talking about that. So this is here. So prana, apana, vyana, samana, vanana. He's not talking about that because all of this is anyway represented in the prana piece. What he's asking, I understood, and I'll check from where he's observed it correctly. Say, for example,
no, he means the subtle space should cause, like how it is in the Rajoguna also. It should
be,
so Shotram speech is right. Then he's saying Twak, hand also it kind of makes sense.
Okay.
From Shakshu, the power, the form, with the form, it is coming to legs.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So one is not able to make connection here. From taste, it is coming to anus. And from smell, it is coming to genitals. Correct? Is that what you're asking? So you're not able to make connections with these.
Correct. I'm not able to connect the Rajogunas.
Fair point. Fair point. I will get back to you in terms of if there is a connection there or not in this. Or this is how it is.
Can I say something?
Yeah, tell me.
If we instead of universal context, if we'll try to understand with our individual presence context, then maybe this is how I try to understand. So I'll just explain it if it makes sense. So sound, the space, subtle space to sound and to speech, everybody is able to understand. But how do I feel the touch? So for touch, the Kriya organ is my hand. It's through hand that I touch. So that's where the hand is coming. It's the Kriya organ.
But that is skin also, right?
Because no, that is skin. See, it is apana. It is apana. It is skin.
It is skin.
Not hand in particular. It is skin in general.
All the body
can. Yeah. It is skin, but what is the primary this thing? The movement wise, if you see, skin doesn't move. It's the kriya means the movement. Okay. So what is in my body which is moving? It's the hand which is moving and feeling and touching things which is around me. Okay. Just hear me out. I might be wrong. Then form, the fire, how do I feel the action? The fire, if you understand it as a action, how do I feel that heat or action? Is my mind tells my leg to move or go towards that action. So that's where the leg come. For the taste bit, I think it's taste was what I don't. So that's how I was trying to relate to it. I am not sure if it is.
Okay, I think what you're saying, I get from where you're coming, Vashanjali. What we'll have to look at it, hand does not necessarily mean these hands. It means the power of lifting. Legs does not mean these legs. It means power of movement.
Yeah, in a universal context, that's how it will function. I was just thinking from because it's easier to relate that way we think.
Yeah. Anus does not mean the anus that we are talking about. It is the power of
Excretion, reproduction.
and genitals is the power of reproduction. So it's basically representing so the powers of reproduction was created from the Rajoguna of earth. The power of excretion was created by the Rajoguna of Jala.
But
The power of movement was created by the Rajoguna of
leg,
the fire.
fire.
Also,
So
you have to understand it's not the grosser
It's not the legs
body
that-
that has been talked about. It is the subtle energy form that has been talked about. So that's
why-
where I think what Vidhan is saying.
I get what Bidar is saying. Yeah. So it is not actually the hand and the legs of
No.
the human body,
No.
but yeah, the action that they represent.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
hand is representing the it is basically
Correct. The lifting, as you said, the lifting
Action.
or the
Lifting.
where
The
the
legs is
cross comes into
representing
the
the movement. The
correct.
anus is representing the excretion and genitals is representing the reproduction.
Again, this anus part I don't understand. Why excretion comes into the picture there? What?
You can take in something only when you are able, like the balance is created when something has been taken and been removed. So you can
More than
only taste when
excretion, no? Sorry, Varsha.
Yeah.
Is it right to just tell it is elimination more than excretion? Elimination is a better word. Elimination is apana.
Yeah, but how water is
Sweat.
into elimination? I'm not able to.
No, wait. There is see, okay. Now when we look at Panch Prana, right? So there is Udhana. Udhana is reversing. Reversing is different. Reversing is like if you eat something which is not suiting you, there's a system that throws it out of the body, right? Or if something goes into your eyes, the teardrops wants to throw it out. A person dies, you will see there's a lot of, that is basically the reversing system. It is not talking about the reversing system. It is basically talking about the elimination system. Right? There are two different things. So these are so what I will do is I will these are basically literal changes here in terms of anus. Anus does not necessarily mean the gross anus that we're talking about.
Correct.
It is talking about a principle.
I understand. Well, the only reason I was a little confused is because there is no talk of an origination system or a bringing in, but there is directly we are having a elimination system, no, in this list. So I'm wondering how that actually fits into this.
Bringing in the sense of creation you're talking about.
Correct. I mean, in the Rajogunas, since there is no, I mean, there's not yet a mention of a creation as such, as you said. But then
you are talking about there is no system of input. We are talking about output.
Correct. No input, but an output is spoken of here in the form of water's Rajoguna. So I'm wondering.
So you're saying the aspect of input has not been
mentioned, but then an aspect of output has been mentioned.
Output has been mentioned.
Yeah, a little confused about that.
I will get back to you on this.
Sure.
This is a very logical way to look at it. Right? So this is one part, the Rajoguna piece I will get back in terms of how does it work. All right?
Sure. Yeah.
Now let us look at what we have seen so far. These are all the invisible part in which the universe has seen. So universe has already created powers of listening, touch, seeing, taste, smell. In universe already the powers of speech, movement, locomotion, removal, and reproduction has been created. In universe already the mind has been created. In universe already the pranas has been created. So everything is of invisible form, subtle form. Now how it has become visible. So then they say that how it has become visible, there's a process called panchikarana. How does it work? Let's understand this. Now you have to see that what they're saying is that if you look at Sukshma, Akash, right? Or you take anyone, Sukshma Prithvi, you have to divide into 5 parts. One is 1/2. And another is 12 and a half, 12 and a half, 12 and a half, and 12 and a half. So 50% and 4, 12.5%. That comes to 100%. Is this okay? All right. So we are talking about the tamoguna of the Akash element will be divided into 5 parts. Now, how they have spoken about it, how did they get to know? Please don't ask me. This is what it is, which has been told in the text I'm telling you. Right? Now, then what happens is that out of one half, the Sukshma Akash, half of the Sukshma Akash, and 12.5% of Sukshma Vayu, 12.5% of Sukshma Agni, 12.5% of Sukshma Akash and Prithvi, Vayu and Prithvi, all of them come together to basically create grossification. So the grossification of the invisible becomes visible when this specific activity happens, in which 50% of the tamoguna of one element is taken, and 12.5% of tamoguna of all the remaining 4 elements are taken. And when they come together, they become visible. This is what has been explained. This is called Panchikarana. This is called grossification. So before grossification, the elements are pure. Say, for example, Akasha is pure. Akash is 100% Akash. Prithvi is 100% Prithvi. Vayu is 100% Yayu. Jala is 100% Jala. But when the grossification happens, then it is no longer pure. So the gross Akash that you are experiencing right now is not pure Akash. It is only 50% Akash. Remaining 50% is 12.5% of each. Right? So this is called Panchikarana. And once these elements are created, so what has happened is gross Akash is created, gross Vayu is created, gross Agni is created, gross Jala is created, and gross Prithvi is created. All these gross elements then come together and creates this universe. Right? All this, after these 5 gross elements are coming, all these 5 elements come together in its various forms. It kind of creates this entire universe. So let us understand with the help of our own body. Right? Our own body, does it have a Prithvi element? It has? Okay. Does it have the water element?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it have the fire element?
Yes.
Body has temperature. It has the
Yes.
fire element. Does it have the air element?
Yes.
There is.
Breath.
Does it has the space element?
Yes.
So these are the 5 gross elements that has come together to create this body. Right? And what happens after that? Those 5 gross elements goes back into the universe. Whenever it comes back, it makes this body. Similarly, the entire universe is like this body. Not exactly like this, but is like this body. So all the 5 gross elements come together and makes the body of universe. That body of universe is technically called Virat. When you have heard in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna takes the Virat Swarupa. Right? That means it basically talks about the universal body. So just like your body is created by these 5 elements, similarly, the universal body is also created by these 5 elements. So these are the 4 steps that has happened. What was the first step which happened? First step, from Maya came 5 pure subtle elements. Right? From these 5 pure subtle fundamental elements, the organs of perception and organs of movement were created. Kriya Shakti and Jnana Shakti was created. The ability to move and the ability to know. So Sattva and Rajoguna of these 5 pure elements the ability to know, the ability to kriya. So Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Prana, and Manas. It was created. And then that's the second thing that happens. Then third thing what happens is that gross elements are created. How are the gross elements created? By a process called Panchikaranam. How is Panchikaranam happening? Taking the tamoguna of all those elements, basically using the tamoguna, the tamoguna which I have not mentioned, taking the tamoguna of these elements, you are basically kind of putting everything together and making it grossified. Once those gross elements are created, then all of them come together and makes the universal body, right? So this is what exactly happens. From Maya comes the subtle pieces, right? And from those subtle pieces comes it will have the sattva, rajo, and tamoguna. The sattva guna uses the power of knowing, jnana shakti, and manas, mind. The power of movement, the rajo guna of these 5 elements, you create kriya shakti and pancha prana. And using the tamoguna of these 5 elements, the physical part is created. The physical part is created. So all these 3 gunas basically end up creating these subtle and the gross body. These are the subtle bodies that has got created for the universe first. Panch pranadya, panch karmendriyas, panch jnanendriyas, and 4 aspects of mind. So these are 19 plus there are 5 base elements. So therefore they say 24. If you remember, they was talking about 24. If you keep Maya into point, this is 24. You see this? Now the real fun comes. Who is Paramatma? Now, having known all these things, who is Paramatma? Where is Paramatma? Okay, tell me what is Jivatma?
Where
The
we began with Maya, right? So Maya is the Paramatma. Because of Maya, all of this was.
No, Maya is something else. We'll talk about it. And we're going to use very technical words. The word it is used for. Okay, tell me what is Jivatma? What is Jivatma?
Something that generates out of Paramatma, right?
No, tell me what is Jivatma?
Is it the reflected consciousness of the reflected Brahma?
Okay.
The
Now,
body that forms out of these 5 elements.
What? Sorry.
No, it's not.
The living body that forms out of these 5 elements.
Yes, you are very close. Okay, tell me what is Jiva?
Jiva is life.
Jiva is okay. So who are you? You are a Jiva?
Yeah, we are Jiva.
Jiva. So what does Jiva has? Jiva has all these components?
Yeah.
All these 19 components you have?
Yes.
So all the Rajo, Rajo, no, what was that first one?
Sattva.
Sattva, Rajo, and Tamoguna, all the 3 qualities, if this individual, then that is Jivatma.
Okay, that's another way of looking at it. Right now, what is Jivatma? You are a Jivatma?
Yes.
The
I am a Jivatma.
consciousness in the body,
Sorry?
the consciousness
Yes.
in the human body or the body is called a Jivatma.
Perfect. The consciousness that is expressing through the living entity. It could be any body. It could be the body of a dog. It could be the body of me, right? A body which has all these 3 gunas, a body which is capable of knowing, a body which is capable of moving, a body which is capable of resting, right? A body which is capable of all of it, which means a body which has the gross, subtle, and causal, right? Which has Sthula, Shukshma, and Karana Sharira. So a combination of these three. So the consciousness which is reflecting through this 19 elements is basically Jivatma. So you have all these 19 elements.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Now tell me, what is Paramatma?
The same way the consciousness which is expressed
Universal.
the
Yeah.
universe is called a jivat. I mean,
Yes.
Param.
Yes. So just as you have the finite amount of body, the finite amount of intellect, the finite amount of panchapranas, you have finite amount of things. And the consciousness is expressing through you. Similar, this universe has infinite amount of all these things that we are talking about. So the universe also has infinite amount of all these 19 elements. Right? So the consciousness is expressing through the universe also. If the consciousness is expressing through such a small, when you are a living entity because of all these 19 elements you have, so universe has more than 19 elements, has infinite 19 elements, which means the universe is also conscious.
So here, Paramatma and Brahman don't mean the same.
No.
Oh.
This is a technical name. So it's like this. If you keep a pot, the space inside the pot is called pot space.
Jivatma.
The space outside the pot is called
Yes.
bigger space. So the space outside the pot can be called Paramatma. The space inside this pot is called pot space. But actually both the pot space and the space outside is one and the same. Correct? Similarly, the consciousness which is expressing through this limited body is called Jivatma. The consciousness which is expressing through the universal body is called Paramatma.
So there is this pot that forms the boundary between the Paramatma and the actual space inside the pot. Now,
Right.
if the boundary is broken, then they become one.
Right.
So
So
finite
which means
conscious.
both are space, both are equal, both are consciousness, but there
Right.
is a boundary of the pot which is there,
Yes.
which is
Yes.
creating that the demarcation between the
Yes.
Paramatma and the Jiva.
Not
Yes.
exactly demarcation, but it's trapping some
Well-
of this in it, which
Go
we
ahead,
call
go ahead.
Jivatma.
Sorry, I'm not able to hear. Please go ahead, Santosh.
No, I'm just saying, I mean, it's not like a boundary as in this is separate and that is separate. The space inside the pot is also space, but the pot defines a certain boundary, and therefore that's Jivatma, right?
Yeah.
But the Paramatma is outside and inside and everywhere, so that's Paramatma.
I like the word trapped, which Santosh used.
Yeah.
So the better example to maybe use is that suppose there's a water all over the place, and you keep a small pot inside the river, right? So inside the pot, the water can be called a pot water. Outside the pot water, you call it river, but everything is nothing but water.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Paramatma is also a nomenclature. Jimatma is also a nomenclature.
Yeah, it's a question of just infinite. That's about it.
Exactly. But both of them are consciousness. So that's what they say, whether you are, so where are your identification is. If your identification is at the level of body and mind, then you are Jivatma. But if your identification is at the level of very consciousness of who you are, then that is where they say you get moksha. Because you are no longer identified with this body. But it has to happen in its truest sense. It cannot be intellectual and stuff.
So basically, Paramatma can be equated to consciousness.
Paramatma is consciousness.
It's consciousness. Yeah.
It's like electricity that is either expressing through a 0-watt bulb or through a floodlight. So Paramatma can be construed as floodlight. Jivatma can be construed as a zero light. Electricity has to be construed as Brahman.
Oh.
Oh, I'm lost.
So-
Brahman and Paramatma, that's the difference is you're saying Paramatma is some
Infinite
analyze Brahman.
consciousness.
Can I say this?
Everything.
Finite level of consciousness plus Maya is Jivatma. Infinite level of consciousness and Maya is Paramatma.
Yes. Yes. So there is an element of Maya in Paramatma also. There is an element of Maya in Jivatma also. Thank you. Thank you, Uma. This makes sense.
Okay. So Brahma is independent of Maya then.
Brahman.
Brahman, sorry, is independent of Maya then.
Right. So Brahman has a particular aspect called Maya. Maya expresses itself. Maya expresses itself to become universe. So Brahman and universe is called Paramatma. And from that universe comes smaller universes, which is called this body. So Brahman and this body is called Jivatma. Got it? There is Paramatma, which is a bigger entity, more powerful entity. But it is still not Brahman in itself because it is still Brahman plus Maya.
That's Maya.
Right? Bigger Maya, smaller Maya. So that is the difference between Paramatma and Jivatma. All right? What is Ishvara? These are all very technical words. We have been using it all over the place. But when we are learning Upanishads, we need to exactly understand what they're trying to say. What is Ishvara? So Ishvara is nothing but Brahman plus Maya, which is unmanifested. That entity is called Ishvara.
But the moment you bring Brahman with Maya, Paramatma is created.
No. Paramatma, when the Maya manifests, Paramatma is created, right?
Okay.
First, Maya is in the unmanifested state.
Oh, there is an unmanifested state of Maya.
I mean, first of all, Maya,
the very
unmanifested.
act of manifestation, I thought was called Maya. So
No. Maya is the potentiality. Everything is in a potential form. The entire universe is in a potential form, in the seed form.
correct.
That is Maya, right? So that seed form that exists in Brahman, that combination is called Ishvara. When that seed becomes universe, the combination of Brahman and universe is called Paramatma. And from the universe, small droplets comes, which is become Jivas. So Brahman plus Jiva is Brahman plus those small droplets are called Jivat.
So here Brahman actually becomes just a base material.
Yes. So that
in itself, it is just capable of nothing.
Yes. So that is what is called Sat Chit. Sat is, it is the substratum, is the base material. Chit, because it is conscious.
Brahman is conscious?
Brahman is conscious.
But when consciousness comes in, it becomes Paramatma, right?
No. You are consciousness, isn't it? You are conscious of your mind.
Yes.
So that is Brahman. Brahman is someone which is conscious.
So then Paramatma has to do with the gross manifestation only.
The Paramatma
Once it becomes a gross manifestation, then Paramatma is created.
So look at this.
Of the universe, I'm saying, not of the person.
So look at this. Maybe it will help you understand further. So if you look at Jivatma has three parts, right? You have subtle body, you have gross body and causal body. Correct? You have all these three bodies. The gross body of you, say for example, Santosh Devayaki ka gross body can be told as Vishwa. The subtle body of Santosh can be called as Tejasa. And causal body of Santosh can be called as Pragna. Similarly, the universe, the Paramatma, has three parts. The universe also has gross body, subtle body, and causal body. The gross body of universe is called as Virat. The subtle body of universe is called Hiranyagarbha. All those 19 elements that you spoke about. And the causal body of the universe can also be called as Maya, or it's going to be called Antaryami. Right? So you have to understand that is known as Prapanchatrayam. जैसे अपना शरीरात्रयम है, the universe has Prapanchatrayam. What is important for us to understand is this. In a simple takeaway is this, that just as this body is a living entity, and there are individual cells inside the body, which may not know how the entire body function works. Similarly, we are the cells in universe. The universe is a much larger living entity, and which we are like small cells trying to figure out how this entire universe functions, which is beyond our capability. Similarly, like the small cells in our body, there are bone cells, there are blood cells, and each cell is doing their job. Each cell is basically supported by a lot of systems in the body, isn't it? The body has multiple systems that is supporting each of the cell, and the cell are doing their job. Similarly, we are the cells of the universe. There's a lot of support system which is working around us. We are doing whatever we can do and what we are doing. But we are actually a part of a much larger conscious system. It is not unconscious. This is what they're trying to say. So first of all, a larger entity was created, which is called Paramatma. From Paramatma, a smaller entity called Jivatma was created. But one thing which is common between Paramatma and Jivatma is Brahman. Because Paramatma is larger system which was created by Maya. Maya is not sentient. It is not conscious. Maya is matter. Right? So this body is not conscious in itself. The mind is not conscious in itself. You, the consciousness, are aware of the body and mind. It is, so if you have to see, it's like the consciousness is like a light principle. So in absence of light, there is no activity that happens. But only when the light is present, a lot of photosynthesis happens, a lot of other things starts happening by itself. Light is not doing anything. Light is not teaching. Light is not taught. Light is not the listener. Light is not the talker. But in the presence of light, all the things are happening. Similarly, Brahman, the consciousness in the presence of Brahman, the Maya becomes Paramatma, Jivatma, but it is Brahman which is aware of all the drama of Maya, which is.
And Paramatma is Ishvara, basically.
Ishvara, you can call it Ishvara, but unfortunately, this is not correct here. Ishvara basically is
manifested
Brahman with Maya in the unmanifested form.
In the unmanifested.
And Maya has not become universe.
Or Maya has kicked into action.
Yes.
That state is called Ishvara.
That state is called Ishvara. Sometimes, therefore, Brahman in its purest form is called Ishvara because Maya is already there. So you cannot say Brahman came first or Maya came first. Both were there to start. So therefore, they say Ishvara.
There was this acknowledgement of a moment where Maya had not manifested yet.
Yeah.
Right? That's why that state is called Ishvara.
Yes.
So Maya kicked in at one point.
Yes.
What they say. Okay.
Yes. When the Maya kicked in, the space was created, time was created, causation was created. Right? So this is how it is. Yeah. This is not a human eye. This is an actual picture taken of nebula. Yeah, sorry.
Vidhan, so can you just go back to the previous slide?
This one?
Yeah. So here, the Prajna, Tejasa, and Vishwa are the names given for the Jiva in different Jagrat state, right?
Yes. Once you are identified with, when you are identified with your physical body.
Yeah.
You are called
when
Vishwa.
you are in that is the whatever Shushupti and Sapna and whatever Jagrat. Yeah. In these avasthas, you call these the same consciousness with these three names, right?
Yes.
So is it the same below? I mean, the universe, does universe have the state of
sleep?
I don't know.
Yeah, it has. That is called pralayam.
Sorry, it's called?
But does it have a waking state and the sapna, Jagrat state and sapna and Shushupti?
No, that I don't have any substantial thing to it, but we know that universe expands and contracts. So there is no creation and destruction. It is only expansion and contraction. So universe has a physical presence. The physical body of the universe can be called Virat. The subtle body of the universe can be called Hiranyagarbha.
But like Sahana was asking, it doesn't have the three states of.
I don't know. I have not read that so far.
Avastha Kriya, the
That's
Avastha
how
Kriya
we
state
got
of
these
the
three levels,
universe.
right?
No?
Sorry.
I mean, everything we are relating to Jiva and universe we are relating. So, and this Prajna and Tejas and Vishwa we got from there, like from Jagrat, Sapna, Shushupti. So, does universe have these states of thing? I don't know.
Yeah. Wakeful sleep and deep sleep. Dream and deep sleep.
Yeah.
That's a very, very thought-provoking question.
They say in Mandukya that who knows that we are basically characters in Vishnu's dream.
Then what about when Vishnu is awake?
All of us become Vishnu then.
Okay. And how would a deep sleep state be described? I don't know.
Unchintanya, unknowable. All right, it's 8:42. Okay. All right. So we'll sort of close this now. So we will move on from here because we got stuck last time. And so those whatever questions that you have asked, I'll just reconfirm and post it in the group from what questions that you have asked. Right now, what is important to understand is that the just let me stop here. That what has been stated in Upanishads are the fact that there is an evolution which has happened at the level of universe. There is a creation of subtle and the grosser aspects of universe. The universe is as conscious as you and I are. The consciousness of Brahman expressing through universe can be referred as Paramatma. The same consciousness which is expressing through us can be called Jivatma. Now, at the level of Paramatma and Jivatma, there's a lot of difference because the capability of universe is infinite, the capability of us is finite. But when we identify ourselves as Brahman, not as this body and mind, then it's one and the same, whether it is universe or me. And that is when they say Tatvabodha, which is what Uma was trying to beautifully explain last time. Tat means that. What is that? Paramatma. Tvam is you, Jivatma. Asi is. Right? Means at the level of the essence, the universe, Paramatma and Jivatma is one and the same. What is the essence? Brahman. There's a visible difference, stark difference when we are identified with this body and mind. But when we identify ourselves as the very consciousness, that Tattvamasi becomes same. And when we say Aham Brahma Asmi, that I am Brahman, then you kind of identify yourself with the consciousness. That thou art. All of it. These are called Mahavakyas. This is the ultimate truth which Upanishads are trying to do.
This diagram that you showed, right, Bidan, before,
Sure.
where we talk about the consciousness and then from which the Shariratrayam and the Prapanchatrayam, it is kind of showing the difference there from the consciousness, that is Atma Chaitanyam, right? That's what was written. So from Atma Chaitanyam, it divides itself into Shariratrayam and Prapanchatrayam. And the person who identifies, the individual who identifies himself or herself with the Sharira, then the three states come by. Here, with the person who identifies himself with the Prapanchatrayam, then
A person cannot identify himself or herself with Prapanchatrayam.
Okay.
It's a universe.
Then becomes Paramatma. It's not like
It
that.
is universe. And in universal system, there is no, yeah, they say there is no ahankara. Ahankara is, which is where the Jivatma is attached to, and therefore you have a feeling of individuality. In universe, there's no feeling of individuality. So that's something we'll take on as we go.
Okay. I will still stick to that bowl of water and the ocean that you spoke about. So
Sure.
can we not have it linear, in the horizontal, this diagram that is there? Can we look at it more in a straight line and say from the consciousness evolved the Prapanchatrayam, and from Prapanchatrayam, the Paramatma, the qualities of the Paramatma, or the qualities of the Paramatma, and from that evolved the Jivatma, which is the bowl of water, which has got certain properties again that we identify with. But once we start breaking that, the boundary, then we become the Paramatma and the consciousness, ultimately the consciousness. Believe that we are all from one, we are all one consciousness.
Yeah, we can think is from what you are saying from Maya. So from Maya becomes Paramatma.
Yeah.
From Paramatma came the Jivatma.
Yeah, in a straight line, if we can draw.
Okay.
Going backwards is just breaking those boundaries by not identifying yourself with that state or with the bowl of, with the pot of water. You
Correct.
break the pot such that you become the Paramatma and the ultimate Brahman. So I'm just looking at it in a straight line instead of dividing it, because this division is probably causing some kind of confusion, that we are calling this from the consciousness has evolved the Jivatma and the Paramatma in two directions. But rather, if it is all from one after the other, gives us, just to go back. It's just a...
Sure. Yeah, you can think that. No problem.
Okay.
Nobody has evolved from Brahman, is what I'm trying to say. From Brahman, there is Maya Shakti. From Maya Shakti has become Paramatma. From Paramatma, it has become Jivatma.
Okay.
Brahman is one and the same. It is unchangeable. It is beyond these things.
Beautiful. Okay. Now I think it makes complete sense. Thank you. Thank you for the time.
Okay.
Vidhan, can you show the last slide once, please?
Sorry?
The last slide.
Wait.
Vidhan, we were not going to let you go today.
Is this what we're talking about?
This is the one, yeah.
Is this the one?
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Just wanted to see. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Go ahead.
Then, if you want to quickly mention about the retreat.
Oh, yes. Okay, that's very important. What are we planning? Are we all wanting to come to the retreat?
Yes.
Let's say yes.
Yes.
Very much. Yes.
Because we have to plan for it. We have to kind of coordinate. There's a whole lot of work which is required on the background. So can we all get back on this quickly so that we can start working on it?
Sure.
So I'll send the reminder again today, tomorrow. Let's quickly get back on this. How many of us are there? How many of us will be coming? How many people will be coming for this retreat? It's a one day. It was going to be real fun. You can get your family members as well. And we'll do a lot of activities, which will certainly be quite interesting.
I am in Vidhan.
Okay, that's great. But please send us a WhatsApp message, no?
Okay.
And it will be nice if you kind of responded in the main group itself. Otherwise, what has happened is this, just like Paramatma and Jivatma, this subgroup has come out of the bigger group. So they knowingly did not put it in the subgroup. I put it out in the larger group. But nobody responds in larger group. Everybody talks in the subgroup.
That is like Paramatma. All the Maya is in the smaller group.
So
You're still Jiva, not Paramatma.
Okay.
That is only present. We are active and we are doing everything. So it's like that. So we'll make the other group also active now.
So I'll just put out a poll over there. Everybody should say I am in. So and then let's quickly get going on this.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
Sure, then we'll do it.
And all the people whom you know of and they're not seeing the things, just reach out to them and ask them what's happened. See, each one of
how about asking through a poll? At least whoever is interested, we can reach out to them. And can I just put a poll that, who is interested and who is willing to come? So that even our group who is interested, they can, heads up, then I think it is like nudging them also.
Yeah, what Sahana says makes sense. Suppose, X number is interested, then we can volunteer to call them and, ask them to register and things like that.
But they have to respond. So at least some of you should quickly say yes to that. And in your subgroup,
we'll set the inertia so that
exactly.
other people also,
And also in your subgroup, okay, so stop the recording first. Yes.